Hey guys, Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another One Piece anime episode review for you guys, dual episode review for you guys, as I'm talking about episodes 1075 and 1076, which finally, after all the fist fighting, after all the gumanos, and all the freaking moves and attacks we've seen this entire damn arc. We have finally gotten the defeat of the Emperor Kaido in the anime, which is a pretty groundbreaking moment in the series because now Luffy has officially defeated an Emperor. Well, it's not officially like say that to the world, but obviously as an audience, we know Luffy defeated an Emperor. You know, this is pretty big news, especially when One Piece world will find out that Luffy did this. He defeated an emperor, pretty much what people deem the strongest man in the world in Kaido, and Luffy overcame that. Obviously, at the end of the day, you look at everything that happened throughout the fight on Onigashima. Luffy did have a lot of help to wear Kaido down. Obviously the scabbards at first, and then obviously the supernovas, and then that's when Luffy pretty much took charge on his own and kept coming back and back and back until he got Gear 5th, and then he finally officially defeated Kaido for the final time in their final clash, which was a pretty interesting episode. And yeah, so funny enough, I'm bringing this review because actually I have some like free time in my morning. Like I don't have to show up to my work. I don't have to show up to work till like legitimately like later in the day, but whatever. Anyways, getting to it at this point in time, episode 1075. Now, I'm not going to go in too much depth with this episode because really, in all honesty, it's kind of like a somewhat recap-based episode. Now, the only thing is, this recap-based episode kind of shows us the entire damn history of Wano. It also starts off the clash between Luffy and Kaido that goes into this episode, where Kaido pretty much makes his whole like freaking kaiju fire lava dragon thing, and attacks freaking Luffy, while Luffy makes the big gigantic fist, and he's coming down and everything. And basically, Kaido says like this, you can't touch me, anything, your skin will like melt away. But then obviously Luffy's like, well, I learned from the old man how to freaking attack people without having to touch them, which is Ryuo. So Luffy's using Ryuo to counter back of what Kaido is fighting back. And so they're clashing right now, which leads into episode 1076. But what I mean by the recap, basically, episode 1075, even though it is a recap based episode, and apparently I guess for some odd reason people didn't like that episode, but even then it is that episode basically is an overview of like the pain and the suffering over the 20 years the people of Wano had to endure under the rule of Kaido, and especially Orochi, and the detestable things that both those characters did to these people in this country that was once prosperous under Oden. And under Orochi, you can see like there was a lot of sniveling, cowardly things and everything that Orochi did, along with the help of Kaido, that it just made a lot of people's lives in Wano a lot worse. And when you watch that full course episode, they obviously go in depth with some of the more important characters throughout the land of throughout obviously Wano, but you see like what these people had to deal with and what had to go through, and really they couldn't do nothing about it because, well, Oden's gone. There's nobody that can stand up to Kaido. Yes, there can be people to stand up to Orochi, but when you got a pirate backing you, and someone that is as strong as Kaido, well, holy hell, it's not like you're gonna freaking do anything of importance. You get the whole thing where the people get the like leftover Smile Devil fruits, where they were like obviously starving for food, they eat it, and then that's when it becomes obviously the town that happened to them. Absolutely disgusting, horrible, deplorable things. And you just see throughout the course how ruined Wano got under the rule of Orochi to the point it's like, okay, this shit needs to change and everything, you know. And yeah, and that also leads into the scene where you have it to where Denjiro comes in and slices Orochi's head off, hopefully, probably, if not for good, and he saves Hiyori from basically being burned alive, with Orochi charging at her, and basically Denjiro comes in, cuts his head off, pretty much hugs Hiyori, says it's gonna be over soon, and you know that's all it. So pretty emotional scene right then and there, and then you get even an emotional scene where Luffy is like, Momonosuke, move Onigashima out the way because I'm about to finish this fight right now, and basically tells to Luffy like, hey dude, you know, I trust you, I believe you can do it and everything. So, you know, Momonosuke, you know, finally stops doubting himself, you know, after thinking about his sister, his mom, and his dad. You know, that's when he gets the courage to move on Onigashima, which leads into the next episode where you get the final clash and everything. So in the meantime, Momonosuke is trying to make flame clouds. He eventually does make the flame clouds to move Onigashima out of the way, and everything. So that was good. So after like many freaking episodes, when they cut over to Momonosuke trying to make the flame clouds, he finally makes the flame clouds and everything. Again, remember, he's just learning the truth about his devil fruit powers and how to work it and everything. Because remember, you know, he has powers. He has a devil fruit power similar to that of Kaido. Kaido's basically, it's like basically a copy. So if you're pissed, like, oh, how the hell is he not able to do this? Like, listen, he's learning on the fly how to use his abilities. On top of it, he like literally got aged up. So, you know, that's kind of the thing right then and there. Anyways, we get a flashback, of Kaido and his origins and everything. Now, obviously, I remember when they did this in the manga, a lot of people weren't, like, I guess, too high on the Kaido backstory. They didn't really like how the Kaido backstory was kind of somewhat short. And even in here, I feel like it was pretty short, because I thought in the anime, they would actually kind of expand on some things from Kaido's backstory. Maybe have, like, even though that would have been like crazy, but knowing the fact that the manga is like, the anime is like right around close to where the manga is at, I was honestly like thinking like, okay, they might actually do a full-on episode of Kaido's backstory, fleshing it out some more, that maybe more than what the manga could have done, you know. But no, it's kind of like short and kind of understandable to the point. And I think I haven't read the manga of his backstory in quite a while, but I feel like they cut some things out of the backstory. But again, if you read the manga, please correct me if I'm wrong, if they got everything from the manga of his backstory into the anime. But I feel like there's one missing point where they cut something out. I don't know. Again, you know, I don't really go back to read manga chapters for these episodes. It's kind of like, I'm just going to go off the, you know, when I read a manga chapter for One Piece, I read it. I hope I remember what a story point was from the past, which if I'm knowledgeable, I'll remember it. You know, and then when I rewatch it in the anime, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, there you go, and it makes my memory get all refreshed and everything. So again, please correct me in the comment section if I'm missing anything from the manga, from Kaido's backstory that, you know, I should have put in the video. Again, I don't go back to read these manga chapters for these representative episodes. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. But anyways, you kind of see, you know, Kaido, even though he was like 10 years old, he was like deemed as like one of the strongest people in the entire world. Like, he was giving people problems at 10 years of age, which goes to show you how damn strong this guy is. And it's like, as he got older, he progressively got stronger. Like the dude as a 10-year-old boy is freaking strong as hell, and people are like fearing him. Well then, geez Louise, dude's like, I think he's like 50, right? He's around like the 50, almost 60 years of age in the One Piece storyline in the current present. But at 10, it's like, dude was a monster and everything, you know. And he was fighting in this kingdom for the Vodka Kingdom for a few years, because there was like wars going on and things like that, you know. But eventually, you know, he gets captured by the kingdom, and he's basically, I guess you can say, sold off to the government, the world government, because this kingdom wanted to do that, because they wanted to get a seat at the Reverie, and basically gets sold off to the world government to become like a freaking a Navy, a member of the Navy. And Kaido has an issue with that because he's like, why should we be pecking dog, or why should we be dogs to the freaking, celestial dragons and everything? Like, there's no freedom here. Just only oppression, basically, because that's what the celestial dragons do. That's what the world government does. Well, the truth of it and everything. So yeah, he ends up getting caught, but he ends up breaking out and everything. So you just have it to where, you somewhat get this montage, I guess you can say, where, he's fighting and then he sees more Navy people and then he ends up getting caught, only to, after he eats some food and then breaks out. He gets caught, eats some food, breaks out, and it's kind of a constant thing of him getting out and everything. Eventually this attention gets close to what we see as Whitebeard in the past, and apparently he's on Full Lead Island, which is the pirate island or whatever, the current island where basically Blackbeard resides at in the present time. And basically, that's at that point in time, the Rocks pirates inhabited that island. So, basically, you have it to where Whitebeard comes across Kaido and says, like, hey, you want to join the Rocks crew? And basically, so that's when, obviously, Kaido is a part of the Rocks crew. They just show, like, the Rocks ship from the distance. We don't see anything that happens in on the ship or anything, which I think that was also another issue people had with the manga. Like, you would think, okay, if you're going to go expound on Kaido's backstory, you're probably going to get some things about the Rocks pirates. Shit, you might actually get a Rocks reveal, like a full out face reveal of Rocks. But no, they didn't even do that. So obviously Oda, at that time, is like, he's not going to present anything when it comes to the Rocks crew. And same can be said here. Like, they literally skim over that, and next thing you know, you cut over to Big Mom in her younger years, where she actually looks pretty good looking, not like a freaking, I guess you can say, an old fat grandma, I guess you can say. But I guess in One Piece standards, their typical body structure where, oh, she's got the nice figure and everything, and she looks pretty attractive, right? And she's calling out, like, where the hell is Kaido? Where the hell is Kaido, right? And basically, before even Big Mom comes on that point, this is taking place after the God Valley incident when Garp and Roger teamed up to take down the Rocks crew. So that's kind of when, and then obviously the Rocks pirates disband. Kaido went his own separate way and everything. That's when, Higurashi was like, yeah, you can do all of the things you can do, and, show that the strong are the strong, the weak are nothing, and rule by an iron fist and everything. So, that's kind of where the backstory ends from that point of view. The only thing, like, close to it is where we get it to where it's like when he's talking to King, saying, like, Yamato brought up the name Joy Boy again, and King was like, Shaga's like, what the hell? And obviously he's like, see, that's obviously a legend about the Kozuki's opening the border for Joy Boy and everything. And basically, that leads in, obviously, even when you get to the later the scene, is like, because he's like, Joy Boy will be the man that will defeat me, and everything. So we cut back from the flashback and everything, and basically Kaido's like, see, dude, and he's telling Luffy, he's like, see, you're gonna fail in this moment because everybody's pinning their hopes and their dreams and their wills and their successes and hopefully the hope of the future on you to freaking save them and save this freaking country and everything. But you see, that's not gonna happen. Basically, they're gonna be working for me. Wano is gonna be basically a pirate island. It's gonna be basically all hell on earth, basically, from his perspective. Just basically, you could say just a country in slavery, basically. And he says, like, this is just only the start of my plan, and eventually I'm gonna take over the entire world and everything. And pretty much, he tells Luffy, like, you don't even have any goals. You don't even have any dreams. Like, what's the point in you trying to do this? Like, what world are you trying to basically create? So, it looks like he engulfs Luffy in these flames and everything, but Luffy then fights back and everything, because obviously he's fighting basically with everybody's hopes on the line, and Luffy fights back, and basically, you know, he makes his attack even bigger and everything, and that shocks Kaido's like, wait, how the hell did he do that? He should be done. But Luffy's still not fighting. He's like, see, you failed to realize that I'm not gonna give up, you know, and basically he reminisces back to all the moments, you know, of the people he's known, but specifically Otama, about, you know, not getting a lot of food and making that promise, like, when I free this country, you'll be able to eat whatever you want to eat at any time you want to eat, and there's nothing that anybody can or will do about it. Well, unless you go like a restaurant or something. So he basically proclaims that the world he wants to create is a world where he can have all his friends basically eat as much as they want. And basically that's when he's pushing Kaido back. At that point in time, Momonosuke's already created the flame clouds and everything, and everybody's looking up like, please, Luffy, please. Like how in episode 1075, like, you had people like on their freaking knees, mostly people from the land of Wano, on their knees praying to Luffy, like, please defeat Kaido for us, please defeat Kaido. But everybody's looking up like, they're like, Straw Hat, you know, and they're like, Luffy, come on, do it, you know. And Luffy, after he says that line where he's like, I'm gonna make a world where I want all my friends to eat and everything, that's when he pushes, you know, he breaks the flames away from this dragon-like looking Kaido, from where Kaido was basically in the flames, and he just slams his fist full force. It hits Kaido. You can tell the dude takes a big shot, and he's basically knocked out as he's fallen to the ground, and everything. And basically, as Kaido's falling on the ground as he gets hit, that's when it cuts back to that moment where when he was telling King, like, yeah, the man who will defeat Joy Boy is the man who will defeat me, thus kind of making it very obvious that Luffy is basically the embodiment of Joy Boy in this era of the One Piece world, in terms of everything. Because, you know, if you go back to the Void Century, the title Joy Boy is only named as a title, or whoever was the character that was the name of Joy Boy back in the Void Century. You know, we don't know his name. You know, we just know they go by the title of Joy Boy. So that's kind of the thing. So basically, by Kaido saying this and by Kaido being defeated by Luffy is pretty much kind of this era's Joy Boy. You know, somebody that can bring change upon the world and everything. And you get this very emotional scene where it cuts back to Wano, where obviously the people are putting the lanterns up and they're flying in the air, and you get this visually stunning scene where Luffy's just in the air. These lanterns are like literally right behind him, and he's like just embellishing in everything that has happened up to this point, you know, and everything, and kind of showing like, you know, it's kind of like it's finally over, you know, I've defeated him, you know, Wano has been saved, you know. Onigashima drops on the ground after Momonosuke gently drops it to the ground, and basically, you know, that's where the episode ends, and Luffy has defeated Kaido. So we are now officially in post Wano arc content, as we get the resolutions to certain storylines and everything, and Kaido has been defeated. When this happened in the manga, it was absolutely groundbreaking, absolutely shocking. Even for me reading the manga, I knew eventually Luffy was going to defeat Kaido, but it's like after everything that happened, like this man Luffy got knocked out like damn near freaking almost like 5 times by Kaido alone in this whole struggle against Kaido, dating back from when he first entered the arc and everything. And now, after all the training he's done, he's finally defeated an emperor. And again, the crazy part is, see, the thing is, you know, when you look at this, you don't even think about the time span of how the One Piece world works. Like, remember, guys, to them, this is only 2 years ago, man. 2 years ago from when Luffy first started his pirate journey. And, you know, 2 years passed. And when you look at the totalitarian of everything that Luffy has done, you know, from Fishman Island after reuniting with the Straw Hat crew till now, it's only been like the span of like a few months. The episodes, because of how long it's been, and even the manga chapters, it makes it feel as if, okay, it's been years or something like this. No, if anything, this whole saga has been going on for like a few days, if not maybe like a month or two. Which is, when you think about it, the landscaping of things, like, you look back and you're like, oh shit, all this thing happened like from a few days to like maybe a month or 2 months or something like that. You know, of Luffy going to Fishman Island, dealing with Horty Jones, to going to Punk Hazard, right, and dealing with Caesar, then to go to Dressrosa and defeat a warlord in Doflamingo. You know, then Zoe, and then going to Big Mom's place to get Sanji back and everything, right in the Emperor's, you know, building, getting out of there, only to go to Wano to fight another Emperor and overcome that. And mind you, that's been taking place in the grand scheme of things of like a few, like, shit, probably weeks, you know? So Luffy's gotten like super strong in a time span of weeks, maybe a month or two, maybe 1 or 2 months. And it's just that quick of how strong the dude's been getting. And this whole like groundbreaking stuff that's been going on in the One Piece story, it's been happening that short of a time span. So to us as the readers, it feels longer. It feels like to them it may be like months, or a year has passed. Nuh-uh. It's only been like maybe like a few weeks or a month at best, maybe 2 months if we're being generous too. They don't really say like the time span of, you know, One Piece in terms of like how long these arcs, you know, range in terms of like actual One Piece real world time. Like, you know, how long did it take for the Straw Hats to go from, you know, Fishman Island to Punk Hazard? Oh, it took him a week. You know, when they left, it was like the first day of the week, you know, or something like that. You know, maybe that would have to be a question Oda would have to ask. Maybe that's a question somebody should ask Oda in an SBS. Like, what's the time frame in terms of days, weeks, and months, you know, between Fishman Island to the Wano to the Wano arc? And then maybe we could get a broader picture of like, okay, how short of a time span this has been to the point where the Straw Hats have gotten stronger, you know, in this short enough time span, which goes to show you also too, with Kaido going down, it's also pretty much kind of somewhat starting the next new era of the next generation for pirates upcoming in terms of taking the old generation's spot, and basically mounting their flags of, okay, no, we're going to be the generation that runs things for the next couple of years, decades, basically, until the next generation after us comes in to probably take us down too. So yeah, but that's pretty much how I view it and everything. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here so I can get ready to go to work actually. And yeah, but if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode, the last 2 episodes of One Piece. Again, sorry for not getting these videos out, you know, sooner. When you're busy with work, on top of the fact that you got football over the weekend to watch, and I love football, you know, it's hard to get to these freaking reviews and everything. And like I said, you know, I have a lot of plans. If you watch my what I will watch / review for Fall of Anime 2023, man, oh boy, let's just say I'm gonna try to be pushing myself to try to get videos out on time. You know, even though I'm getting back super late at home, probably have to freaking just record something and get it up and at least have it up and then schedule it to come up like the next following day or something like that. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or night, which on this video. Till then, guys, peace.